Greetings and salutations, folks. This is Erwin Benedict Valencia, also known as EBV, also known as E, as we continue season 2 of Sunday Gratitude Sessions. As we're adding that sessions, because I think each time we've done it on an IG Live, it is what it is. It's Sunday Gratitude on IG Live. But now, since we've decided to do this here on a different format, we wanted to call it a session. So then it's a closed container that allows every one of us to be part of this container. Today's going to be a very special day because as we start off this beautiful season, we have a very special guest that is going to be part of this launch of season 2. And we're really excited to have him right here as he sits down right now. And I'm sure that he's really excited to pop some jokes as we do this, but we're really excited to have him. Born in the Philippines and raised in California, JR De Guzman started performing while working as a music teacher. Very fascinating. And ironically, he quickly realized that he was just teaching Taylor Swift songs to teenagers, which is really interesting. We're going to talk about that in a second. He's traveled around the world for his comedy, to the Philippines, to Japan, to Amsterdam, to Canada, and a whole bunch of other places. He also won the 13th annual Stand-Up NBC Showcase, and we'd like to probably want to hear more about that as well, because he's able to find a way to combine music and comedy. And this, for me, was the key when I first really listened in to some of his work. What amazed me is the blending of things. And it really is a full testament of what it is to be actually Filipino. Is that we're such an amalgamate of so many things. And he represents that very well in the comedy circuit. Make sure to catch his show that's currently on, what he did with Kevin Hart, called Heart in the City. And also find him on Netflix, where it was Comedy Lineup, I believe. Yep, Comedy Lineup on Netflix as well. So his album, which was called Dual Citizen, reached #1 on the Billboard and iTunes comedy charts. And this is such an amazing honor to have you, my friend, the one and only JR De Guzman. What's going on, dude?
Hey man, I'm just happy to be here, and that was honestly the best I've ever heard anyone introduce me. Like, like the whole time I was like, "Who? That doesn't even sound like me." That was really good.
I think naturally as a hype man, it's something that I've always done. As a hype man, a community nurturer,
Yeah,
it's something that I think I've always want to make sure that when we introduce somebody or we connect with somebody, we try to figure out as much as possible as we can that resonates with them, so that then we're hyping them just enough. So hopefully that
yeah.
was just enough.
Oh, that was great. That was great. You had a lot of cool flavors in there. A little bit of bay leaf.
A little bay leaf,
There was some
little toyo, a little soy sauce, some vinegar, makes for the absolute flavor. So, Jared, thank you very much for being here and being part of this initial episode of Sunday Gratitude Sessions as we continue to push gratitude forward to the rest of the world. And what we wanted to do first is to orient the audience that's about to just watch this, as we're going to go through. This is the agenda that we're going to go through first, as we always do in Sunday Gratitude Sessions. So we begin with some quick breath work and a little bit of gratitude meditation that allows both you and I to get grounded in the space, and then helps us be in this moment in time. And then after that, we're going to go through what we call the gratitude go around by asking you what you're grateful for and why. Also from there, asking what direction we're going to go with this gratitude that you're feeling, and what have you done in order to share this with the world. And then follow that up with something scientific that I've learned through positive psychology that looks at how that intention can be used and actually have impact in your life and the person that you're going to share this gratitude with. And then we're going to round it up with some final words. So are you ready?
I love it. I'm excited. This honestly, my favorite thing about this is it's sort of a free like meditation and holistic guidance thing that I need in my life anyways. So
Well, I'm very honored to be that holistic guided meditation person for you, my friend.
yeah.
All right, so we're going to begin. This is called what I deemed 555 for your soul, a little bit of play with words of 555 soul, which is basically a combination of breath work, a little bit of gratitude meditation, and a little bit of mindfulness all at the same time. So the first thing we're going to do is going to have you bring your right hand up like this. Yep, right hand up. Bring your hand up, and then like a pizza pie, bring it down right in front of you. There you go. You bring your left finger up in the air like this. And then what we're going to do is bring your left finger into the crease of your wrist. And then as we take a deep breath in for 5 seconds, we're going to bring that all the way to the top of your pinky and then breathe out, going back to the center of your crease wrist. And we're going to follow that with every one of your digits. Clear?
Yep.
All right, good. All right. Whenever you're ready, begin by taking a deep breath out first. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now begin with your normal breath, but put your hand on your heart. Put your left hand over your right hand. Slowly and gently close your eyes and continue with a normal breath. And as you sit here and feel some heaviness in your feet, in your legs, in your thighs, in your back, in your shoulders, feel grounded as you follow your breath and your stomach going in and out as you breathe and your chest expanding accordingly. Take a moment to think about who you're grateful for. As your hand is over your heart and your other hand confirming that, who's that person that you're really grateful for at this moment in time? Not yesterday, not 2 days ago, but this exact moment. Who comes to mind as you download and think about those thoughts and feel that person who you could pretty much see right in front of you? And it could be anybody. Anybody you want to share that gratitude with and you share that gratitude from. Think about why you're grateful to that person and what that person means in your life. Continue to allow that light that you feel coming from your hand as you give it to your heart, filled with gratitude, to continue to expand your heart and your body accordingly. Let it flow throughout your body. Let it continue to keep you grounded as you continue to feel the heaviness of your feet, of your thighs, of your back, of your shoulders, of your head. Be grounded in the fact that there is light that is coming from your hand towards your heart that's filled with gratitude for the person that you're grateful for. Take a moment to really see them, feel them, and be thankful. Continue to follow your breath. Allow it to go at its natural pace. Take one more quick moment to feel that gratitude. Fill your whole body, mind, and soul. And whenever you're ready, slowly and gently open your eyes and rise. Thank you for joining me in that, my friend. How are you feeling?
Oh, it's so good. I love that. That was really great. I always appreciate meditation or breath work of any kind because whenever I'm in it, I notice how much throughout the day it's just noise
Mm.
and go, go, go and autopilot. And even like feeling certain muscles relax, how I'm just like, oh, I'm carrying so much tension in this part of my body. Like when we were doing the breath thing, I noticed even just like my cheeks relax and how much I'd never noticed when that happens. And that was really nice. And then the feeling of gratitude, which I know we're going to go into here, even just having that, like I feel like this, it taps into this emotional part of me that I'm not always feeling. I'm almost sometimes I'm disconnected from my body and feel robotic in the day, and then just grateful to feel emotion. I feel human, you know.
Isn't that interesting? And I think I find that point interesting. What I'm hearing is that even as somebody that brings happiness and joy to a lot of people, that there's a sense that you could find yourself being robotic at times.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, maybe that's just an easy way to go into the stereotype of like comics were better at making other people happy around us all the time and then not
Mm.
focusing inward, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's really easy to I was doing a live stream yesterday and I was the whole I was and you're a host of this stuff and I think you're really good at it. So it's a good conversation. The whole time I was thinking about like, well, is everyone here happy? I want to make sure
Mm.
and even when I'm on stage, you know, I'm always thinking of like, okay, if I hear something over here or I notice everyone's laughing, you just notice the one person that's not laughing.
Mm.
I'm just like, well, like what can I do to make you laugh? Like, how can I make you happy? And it's a powerful thing to actually even stop and think about that idea.
I think that's funny you say that because somebody who used to DJ myself, I see DJ live or even used to be an MC on front of a stage I was touring with a group called South Border back in the Philippines.
Wow.
And I was like the hype man. And you're right. You want to kind of get the crowd riled up, not just to be riled up, but also make them happy because it's how do you allow them to be part of the conversation, I think, and feel heard or seen, even though there's like 5,000 people in front of me, but how do you
Yeah.
try to get
Yeah.
that one person that you just look down upon, that you happen to just look down at, suddenly, if they're not joyful, then you ask, what am I missing or what am I doing that's not correct? Or as a
Mhm.
DJ, what song will allow the crowd to keep on dancing? Because the moment you play some song that just doesn't fit perfectly, then everyone leaves and you're just like, how do you bring everybody back?
Oh man, that feeling is so relatable. And I didn't know you've done so many things. It's kind of so interesting. Like, oh yeah, I was also DJ. I did this, that. But yeah, like that feeling you're describing where people start to leave the dance floor or something. That's probably the feeling I get when I see somebody just sitting there not laughing or like, you
Hmm.
know, one time there was somebody sleeping at a show. And
Well, maybe they're just tired, you know?
that's exactly the thing is I was like, I felt rude. I was like, well, you know, he probably had a hard week. Like I should probably quiet down. Everyone just stopped laughing actually.
You know what's funny you say that? I think as somebody who is a host, a comedian, somebody that's on stage, that's there for an audience. As much as we want to engage everybody all the time, we have to remember that we're still engaging with human beings and every person has a story that you don't know about. Maybe they've come to see you after an end of a day that's been long and hard and testy and they're just tired.
Yeah.
And it's not really supposed to be our jobs to try to analyze that, but rather bring what we can bring accordingly without expectations. And hopefully we bring a little bit of joy in one of the things that we say or do. So by grounding yourself more and more each time and understanding how to do that prior to doing your events, I think it would be a great tool for you to truly just be in the moment and not have to like figure everything out.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, that sounds like a really good, even just healthy boundary of realizing, well, yeah, that person has their own story of what they're going through. But even on stage, I have to understand that I'm limited in the sense of like, in a good way, of what can I actually bring instead of trying to bend over backwards to become something else. Like,
Yes.
you know, I'm a very specific type of comic and I know that there's some people who will love it, but there's some people who will hate it too. It's not for them. And I have to understand that I'm not necessarily trying to please those people anyways. Like this is if I stick to a truth that I actually do enjoy and love on stage and like you said, get connected and grounded before the show, I can feel the difference on stage too, where I can connect better with them in the moment by first of all being honest with myself and feeling
Hmm.
what I'm feeling. Cause like even in this, when we were doing that, it's funny, I kind of got like emotional during
Mm.
the gratitude part of it.
Yeah.
And even just, you know, I forgot the first question you asked about it. Like you asked that thing so well about oh, even though you're someone on stage, you like brings joy to other people, and still figuring out that feeling for yourself or whatever. That hit me so hard just now. I was like, oh wow, I'm always go go go. I'm always like trying to work and almost distract from what I'm feeling, or if other people are happy, like I feel somewhat happy, but there's something genuine in this sort of work. It feels like actually the real work, I guess.
I think the beautiful thing about that is that, as with anything in life, once you're comfortable with yourself, that energy radiates out of you. And you don't have to then force or mold yourself into something, because you're just content with who you are. So then people see that immediately and resonate with that, and then find a way to just like be happy because you are that already. So
Yeah.
I think it's funny bringing a monk-like thought process to being a comic.
It's amazing. It's so funny. Like, it's just the tip of the iceberg, like on stage, or the thing, right? Or if you're a musician, you see the music, but there's so much work behind it, I think, that goes into it, to figuring out who you are, unblocking your creativity and stuff. And it's the funny thing to me is like, people might come watch this at some point and be like, oh, hey, Erwin has a comedian on here today. And it's like the first 10 minutes is like me, like I'm like crying and like, they're like, whoa,
Hey, that means we're getting deep.
it really is, man. It's so, I was not expecting it like this fast too. You see a podcast or something where 2 hours in, they're hitting some deep stuff. This is like in 5 minutes. It's like,
wow, I'm humbled that I'm able to do that. So,
oh, it's amazing, man. It's amazing. You're definitely good at what you do.
That said, actually, then it's the perfect segue to ask them, as you went into that meditative state, or just to be able to calm yourself and ground yourself, what did you ask yourself of, like, what are you grateful for at this moment in time, and why were you grateful for that?
Yeah, so when I thought about what I was grateful for, it's funny because I have this sort of go-to in my head for this question I think I watched one of your episodes because I was really interested in all the work you've been doing, honestly. And I think you might have asked it in a way of, who was somebody that you wanted to send a letter to or something?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
Oh, my bad. But so in my head, I thought about that.
Don't get my punchline, dude.
Yeah. And it's like, I saw this set before. I really loved it. No, like, so there's this like I had this coach when I was growing up that I would always think about. But then actually, when you asked this question today, and you said something like, not 2 days ago, not 3 hours ago, in this moment. And then my mom kept coming up, and I was trying to like force it out for a second. I was like, no, let me see how this actually pertains to my coach, because that's a really cool story. And my 8th grade basketball coach. But then I kept thinking about my mom, because she texted me today. She was like, they've been home and I'm supposed to have dinner with them this weekend and everything. But she texted me today, hey, I made way too much juice. Come over and get some juice. Just like such a mom thing. Yeah, like.
I mean, what kind of juice? I mean, like,
yeah, like my mom's like a juice fanatic. Like she'll put tons of vegetables, all kinds of like beets, carrots, and like apple juice or something. It's really good. Like she should start I don't know, Lola's
juice cleanse company or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like
low key.
Yeah, 100%. But she's a dentist, so she's like, she's all right. She's doing okay.
Oh, maybe she put that on the side, like like a little lemonade stand outside, because like after you get your teeth done, then you go outside, and guess what? To make sure your teeth are maintained, just
so smart.
Get some juice, good juice, and cleanse your.
And it's a cycle, because then the sugar will like rot your teeth in your back end. It's like. She's like,
You're right. Well, unless you don't have, obviously try to limit the amount of sugar. So
yeah, true.
Well, that's interesting. That's amazing. So your mom was really kind of coming into for you there. And why do you think that is?
It started with the juice text.
Yeah, but then I'm sure there's something bigger.
Yeah, it kept coming back. And, I started to realize a lot of, oh man, dude, this whole thing that you have me on, I'm just gonna be like crying throughout this whole thing. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can curse on this. I'm like,
no, it's for kids. Remember, it's for kids.
I was like, oh man, Erwin, you're just getting me in the feels this whole time. But like, I've been in a pretty big life change journey like the last 2 years, where it was that I'm really, been the way that I work has been changing a lot, because I was doing a lot of toxic, unhealthy things in my work patterns and my coping habits that were just career-wise. Everything was like continuing in a pretty decent path, But then I was just really unhappy, you know? And then I started to see it where my values weren't in line. And I'm slowly and slowly, especially this year, getting closer to it while feeling fear. So it's like the more I'm going that way, I'm like, is this the right way though? Am I making a mistake? I'm feeling imposter syndrome. But when I think of my mom, she's such a good example of some of those values for me. And it's like, she's such a good job of keeping our family together in a time where, you know, no judgment on anybody, but where it's just a hard thing to do in today's day and age. And like, and especially with Filipinos, you know, family is such a big, important value. But like, we have a pretty big family. Like, my dad has 11 brothers and sisters. I have two brothers. I had a sister that passed away when I was really young. And they had a career shift when my sister passed, where my dad was in the Philippine military, very much a career man. They don't know this on the PMA because, you know, if I fly there, they're going to kill me. But yeah, but like, it was very focused on like less of the family focus and more on your career. And when my sister passed away, my dad shifted his values as well. So it's not just my mom, also my dad, but they moved here and kind of shifted their life more about like just family. And I think that's sort of where I'm at now too, where I feel this shift of less of a career focus and more on the people around me, the love around me, and just these experiences and stuff. In a way, trying to simplify make my world a little bit smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And in some way, for some reason, I do believe that will like lead me on the true path that I'm supposed to be on. What is my service to the world? All that stuff. So my mom has just been really amazing at doing that in her life. Like, she built up like 3 dental practices from moving from the Philippines and not having any of that stuff. She went to dental school while she was pregnant, and then while she had 3 kids even, and finished dental school in the Philippines with 3 kids. And it's just like so humbling as I'm here trying to make like a home studio, and I'm like feeling like afraid and lost. I'm like, dude, your mom like legit did this stuff, is killing it, and has a pretty like beautiful family. Like, I think, you know, did a really good job just providing and nurturing us and stuff. So
That's beautiful, man. Thank you for sharing that.
yeah,
So,
thanks for asking.
so you know what's beautiful about that is that the follow-up question is actually kind of coincides with that. So, as you feel this gratitude for your mother, how do you feel that you can share that gratitude with not just your mom, but maybe the people that are surrounding you, your family and stuff? Like, what's one way that you feel that you can expand that or scale that feeling to everybody else?
Yeah, man, I'm like, I'm like, I'm like laughing, so I'm like sniffling my nose and stuff. I'm like, how do you do this? But did you learn this at Burning Man? 'Cause it's a skill.
No, this is pure skill, my friend. This is a gift.
Yeah. I actually went to Burning Man 2011. I was going to join that thing the other day.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. But to share that gratitude, you know, that's such a service in itself, is to be able to share that feeling. Because like what you're doing right now, and be able to get me to like, just, I don't know what the word is, recenter or refocus on these things. I almost feel the thing I'm trying to lean into these days is, you know, as a creative and through what I do, hoping that by, you know, staying true in my creativity of like what I'm actually passionate about, and being honestly just being like honest and vulnerable, because even this I can feel in myself, where it's like the fear part of me is trying to resist being emotional. It's like, no, just be funny, be this, be that, you know? And it's like, no, if you're feeling emotional and you're gonna cry, like, you can cry. Like, there's no reason not to. And I almost feel like that, I hope, would help encourage somebody else to feel that, instead of maybe like talking about masculinity or something. If there's like another guy out there who watches something like I'm doing or you doing or something, and seeing me being this dude that's always like, oh yeah, comedic, funny, but like actually sharing what the real stuff is in my life, I hope that would help somebody. I'm trying to figure it out still, like through how to do that creatively in my art, because it's like, I guess it's really scary, honestly. Like when I see other people do it, I have such admiration for it. Like, it sounds cliche, but just the bravery of really being exposed. But it's so powerful when I see it. Like, it's such a gift, and I'm trying to figure out how to do that. So,
well, you're already doing it, my friend. I think you have to make sure you give yourself some flowers for that. The fact that you've already gone through some things, you've already done what you needed to do as it relates to bringing joy to a lot of people's hearts. I mean, you brought joy to my heart, you know, and the people that are immediately surrounding me through some of the stories and the work that you've done already. So never cut yourself short, my friend. because you've already begun the process and the journey. So that said, actually, it's funny as it relates to being on a journey. One of the things that is proven through science is a thing called the gratitude visit, or also known as the gratitude letter. The gratitude letter has been shown to be the most impactful positive psychology tool that you can use, especially as it relates to gratitude. So it's simply this. It's by what would you do if you wrote a letter that's handwritten and had to be handwritten? If you actually handwrite a letter to somebody particularly, you basically like really close it out and then make a date or a time where you can share this with the person you're giving the letter to and physically give that letter to that person. And in order for them to listen and hear completely what you are grateful for with them, so to speak. It's so powerful because there's this psychological component because you actually physically have to write it and feel and think of what you are grateful for the person. But also there's a social component or sociological component because now you have to be in an uncomfortable space where you have to go to the person and say, I have a letter for you, but I have to read it. And you have to just stay there and listen to it as I give you love. And that gets uncomfortable, but you hold your ground and make it a safe container because you truly are sharing a gift. And so my question for you is that if you were going to write a gratitude letter after we speak today, who would you give that letter to and why? And it could be your mom again, but I want to know why you would give that letter to, particularly because you have to be in that vulnerable space as you're talking about.
Yeah, it's interesting because actually the first person that came up this time around, just trusting my gut, was actually my brother this time. I'm the youngest of three boys, and I looked up to him since I was a little kid. Like, I thought he was like the definition of cool when I was a kid. Like literally everything he did, I was like, all right, so I got to learn how to break dance because he break dances. Oh. And yeah, like I didn't get good at it, but he was president of the breakdancing club in my high school when he was a senior, and it was just like everybody knew him because he did this move where he was doing head spins in the middle of the gym floor for like a pep rally and took his shirt off while he was doing
while he was spinning.
Sorry, when he's doing windmills.
Oh, he was doing windmills. Okay.
Yeah. There was something that he did with head spins that was cool too. I don't know. Maybe he took his pants off. I don't know. But like, we went to an all boys school. Real weird.
So the shirt came off when windmill and the pants came off during a head spin. Wow.
I might have made that second one up.
We'll have to confirm that with your brother at some point.
Yeah, I'll double check on it and
fact check.
He said it's real. So. But, I always looked up to him. And then there was a period where it was like I was a teenager and all of a sudden it wasn't cool anymore. I was like, nah, man, I don't need your help. And then I recently returned back to that again, where I sort of have made some life changes because I was just deeply, really honestly, like unhappy with a lot of the stuff that was in my life. But I thought it was the direction I was supposed to go. I didn't know who to reach out to. And it was like, he really just like saved my life in a lot of ways because some of the stuff that I brought up to him, it was these things where it was just so vulnerable. I didn't know who I could share it with, if I could share it with anyone in my life. And we grew up together, so he understood a lot of it as well. Why I would do this exercise specifically when you were bringing it up, because I would tell my mom a lot of these things. If I go pick up juice today, I'll tell her today. My brother moved to Boston and we do talk on the phone and stuff, but there's this level through talking that's sometimes hard to get to. And like you said, there's uncomfortable spaces where it's conversation and it's back and forth. But in this, where it's like, if I just had him sit and listen to some of the ways I would want to tell him that I love him, I think it would be easier to just to put it out if I planned it out, wrote it out. And I also think that he needs to know that stuff because I think sometimes he can hear it, but not feel it if I'm just talking. But I do think he's someone that would really appreciate it through a letter. And man, that guy, he works really hard. He went to NU, National in the Philippines, for dental school and was valedictorian over there when he graduated for his school. And then his wife was a salutatorian. They're like this power couple over there. And I know that he works so hard and all that stuff, but I don't know if he sees how many people recognize that as well and would celebrate that for him. He just continues working hard. And so I would want to be able to really have him feel these things in a letter form or in a planned out format.
Yeah, that's well, thank you for sharing that, my friend. That's definitely deep and heartful and thoughtful as well. I think that's a challenge I will pose with you is to write that letter soon. You can do it right after this and then just plan out when obviously you'll either see each other or see each other virtually, but making sure that you plan that moment in time for it to be an amazing, safe container where both of you will be feeling that. And maybe if you want to record it, it's something that you can also have that will be a moment in time that can last a lifetime. So, so keep that.
Yeah.
That would be a bond that you guys can create from that.
Definitely. Yeah, that would be awesome to do. He's in Boston now, so it'd give me a reason to go to Boston.
Yeah. Post pandemic or yeah. So.
Yeah, I know, figuring this stuff out.
Speaking of post pandemic or things that are going on right now, what's the kind of one thing that you are currently working on that you're really proud of that is kind of whether what's going on in the world, whether it's something that you're about to launch or something that you're working on that you feel just a piece of artwork, something you're feeling so greatly called to at this moment in time, not this moment, but this in general time frame?
Yeah. The thing I'm most excited about literally in this exact second is setting up my home studio. Because if I turn this camera, you'd see how messy it is in this other room because I just got all this gear and I'm like figuring out where to put it. But as far as that turning into a project, it's sort of just having, I would say a lot of people know me as a comic and a comedian, and music is sort of attached to that. But I think I just love creativity in general. Like if I could paint, I would do that and share it too. I'm not a good painter. No one would pay to see me paint. So
hey, you never know nowadays.
yeah, that's true. It's that thing where it's like, rather than writing a book and now everyone loves this author, it's like, oh, I love this celebrity, so let me go read their book. It's like an interesting time today. But I think the thing I'm most excited about is just creativity in general. So I've been learning music production a lot, and I've always wanted to release a more serious music EP, and I'm hoping that that's something that I can finish this year. I'm giving myself such a long deadline.
Okay, I finish this year.
Because it's one of those things that I keep talking about, and then I'll keep recording songs, learning more about mixing, and I'm like, no, this isn't finished yet. But with comedy, it's been so easy every time to just be like, all right, let me work on this joke. I'll go on stage. They laughed. That one's ready. I go on stage. They didn't laugh. I got to keep working on it. With music, it's like, is this finished? I don't know. But I would say it's serious music. I want to release more serious music, finish my creator studio so I can have a good workflow space over there.
One step at a time, my friend, one step at a time. Amazing. Well, thank you very much for sharing all of that. Any final words, things that you want people to look you up, whether it's things on YouTube, obviously your social media handles, anything you want to share?
Well, first I want to express gratitude to you, man. I mean, I'm gratitude to you, and then gratitude also that I didn't just cry for 30 minutes on this thing.
We could have gone deeper and made that happen, but I think we'll save that for a different kind of show.
Yeah, that's another show. What's that doctor who does all the
Dr. Phil.
Dr. Phil.
If we're going that direction, or what's funny is as you said that, actually, it reminded me of Jerry Maguire. And remember when Ron Tidwell went on that show and started crying? So I told you, man, I wasn't going to cry. I told you I wasn't going to cry. And he started bawling because well, we have here a contract for. And he's like, nope. No. And then he started bawling like crazy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was in the very beginning.
I know. There wasn't this lead up. It was just jump, spike, and then drop.
Yeah. That's it, man. I'm honestly just really grateful to be on here and be doing this with you. It's been really awesome. I think what you do is amazing, and it's a very clear gift, I think, that you're giving to people. And yeah, I mean, as far as stuff that I'm doing, people can find, I'm on every social media platform. Just look up JR De Guzman and you'll find me.
Are you the only JR De Guzman? You're not getting confused?
I'm definitely not. You'll find a lot of teenagers in the Philippines. When I first looking up if that name was taken. And there's also a famous JM De Guzman, very handsome guy, very talented singer. Apparently he started out his career in mixed martial arts.
What, really?
Yeah, I took a general meeting, one of my first general meetings. So this guy was trying to figure out who I am. I just won the stand-up NBC competition, and so that's why they had the meeting. And he was like, wow, it's cool you sing. I was like, yeah, that's actually right. And now you're doing comedy. Because this guy actually does sing, the other guy.
Yeah.
And he was like, and it's crazy that you started out your career in mixed martial arts. and I was like, wait a minute. That doesn't... So I did a few kickboxing classes in college, and I was like, man, this guy did his research. Amazing.
I was wow, I didn't know that you called that my career in the martial arts.
Yeah. I punched a 16-year-old a few times.
Yeah.
I don't know if does that count?
I was like, wow, I didn't know that I could be considered a champion if you must,
Hey, I was undefeated. 0. Nobody talks about that.
No, but apparently somebody who does their research does.
That guy does. That guy really looked it up. Yeah. And so, yeah, so I'm on the social media stuff and I have the Netflix special, the comedy lineup. I'm really proud of that one, actually. It was like something that within a 15-minute time frame, I was like, I really planned out like every minute the way I wanted it to be. So that one's the one I really enjoy.
I saw that and I wanted more, man. I was like, 15 minutes, that's it?
Oh, cool.
Come on, like, give me at least 30.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, well then, come see a live show. That's what I say to everybody. Come see the hour.
oh, absolutely. I
Yeah.
know I'm going to be there once we're able to travel.
I know. And you're traveling around like for work usually, right? So, yeah, maybe we'll be in the same city.
We'll bump into each other at some random city somewhere. Anything else you want to share?
I just hope that anyone that was feeling something similar to just what the things that we're talking about today can focus in on that and actually acknowledge it and feel it. Because for me, this gift that you've given to me to just feel this today when I was going through my robot laundry list of what to do, it's so powerful. It's better than 10 cups of coffee, better than whatever thing you're looking on Amazon right now to buy. Whatever you think that's going to be the answer? It's this kind of stuff for sure.
Well, speaking of which, what are you looking at Amazon to buy?
Oh man,
what's number one on the list, on that little list, or actually, what's better yet, what is the one that you actually clicked that add to cart, but you actually just are leaving it there because you're like, just in case I forget it, I have it there.
It's some pretty embarrassing stuff. So actually, one of them just came in. I have it here somewhere. And, I can show you. So the reason it's embarrassing, I'm like, is this vain? Like, I basically got my name in these like letters to have like as a backlight for some videos and stuff, like and everything. But then if I didn't do that stuff, I wasn't like a comic trying to make these videos or something. I feel like it'd be pretty arrogant to just be like, yeah, I think my name on the wall would be pretty sick. Here, let me show you real quick what I got.
So this is the extra portion of the show where we're going to have the demos.
All right. So here, I'll put my mic on my couch. So this is like, it's still wrapped up. So you know how you can get like wedding letters?
Yeah.
Like the initials of the bride and groom.
Of the bride and groom, yeah. This
is just my initials. So I'm single and you can tell. But it's like, it's like a J wrapped. I don't know if I'm going to...
Wait, you only have one? That's it?
No, I have the R too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Weird. Okay.
What if they
Why don't you just put your whole name, man? Like this.
Man, I know you're right because I want to see what it looks like first before. I mean, let's see. Let's just take a quick. I don't know. See, not this room.
No. Actually, here's my big question for that. Would it be JRDG or would it be JRG? Because you have a 2-name last name.
Yes. Yeah. D. JR. Yeah, because a lot of people do think like they'll put on my things like JR De or just JR Guzman, and it messes up a lot of things for me. Sure. like my license or stuff like that. I'm like, oh crap, now I can't.
You don't know where to put that and stuff though.
Yeah.
That's really funny. I like the Amazon thing because I think that'll be a question for the future that I'm going to ask too.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
That's a great one. What's on the top of the list? Or what have you added to your cart that you're just saving there so that you don't forget?
Because it's always something that it's like you're putting a lot of thought into it if it's in your cart. Yeah. Oh man. I literally have 33 things in my cart. Yeah, it was the pandemic, Here, I'll show you if you can see that. It's one of them.
Oh, geez. Okay.
33. Yeah.
Wow.
It's just so random. I don't know why. I need to slow down.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna buy all those. They're just in my cart.
They're just in the cart, just in case purposes. So thank you for not only sharing your Amazon shopping cart right now, but also for spending the time, JR, for spending the time to hang out with me, go deep real quick on not just the feeling of gratitude, but also sharing the stories that allow you to be who you are and then maybe help you just gain more power for yourself and to be more authentic in a sense for the future of your career. And so we're so excited to see what's next, and it could possibly be artwork. We don't even know. So
true.
And which includes
you heard it first here.
Exactly. We heard it first here on Sunday gratitude sessions where JR might actually have artwork, which might involve the things that he just purchased on Amazon, which is initials. So we'll see when that happens. So anyways, brother, thank you for spending the time. Make sure you hit him up on his Netflix and Comedy Central, all his social, JR De Guzman. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here and much gratitude. Remember that always begin your days in gratitude, and the rest of it you can leave up to the universe. Enjoy the rest of your day, folks. We will see you next week. Peace.